Okay, picture this. You've been scrolling through property listings for hours.
We've all been there.
You find one that looks perfect on paper. It's a villa in Phuket, maybe near Bangtao Beach. The pool looks sparkling blue. The palm trees are swaying. You can almost feel the humidity. But then you click on the interior photos.
And the dream just comes crashing down.
Exactly. You step inside, virtually or physically, and it just feels tired. The cabinets are screaming early 2000s, the lighting feels like a dentist's office, and you just cannot visualize yourself relaxing there.
Absolutely. It's that visceral, instantaneous reaction where the emotional connection is just severed. And in the world of high-stakes real estate, that disconnect is exactly where money is left on the table.
That is the friction point we are attacking today. Because the difference between a property that sits on the market and one that sells or rents for a premium often comes down to how it makes you feel the second you walk through the door.
It's about psychology as much as it is about construction. And today isn't just about general renovation tips. We aren't talking about fixing up a cottage in the Cotswolds.
No.
We are getting specific. We are heading to the tropics. We are unpacking maximizing value, the Phuket Villa Renovation Guide.
And what makes this deep dive particularly potent is the source of our intelligence. We aren't just speculating here. We are drawing directly from the boots on the ground expertise of Ocean Worldwide.
Context is everything here. Ocean Worldwide isn't some new app that popped up last week. They are a luxury real estate agency that has been based right there in Phuket since 2004.
That is over 2 decades. That's a lifetime in real estate cycles.
It really is. And specifically, we're parsing insights from Sandra O'Neill. She's the director of the agency, and she has helped, literally thousands of families and investors navigate this exact market.
So when she talks about what adds value, it's not theoretical.
No, it's data-driven. She knows what actually closes the deal.
That's the insider secret angle I love. We're basically downloading 20 years of tropical market experience into the next 15 minutes. And the mission today is very specific. How do we get the most bang for your buck? We aren't talking about bulldozing the house. We're talking about smart, strategic updates.
Surgical strikes. It's all about return on investment. How do you make changes that don't just look good to you, but actually increase the asset's value in a competitive market?
So let's unpack this. Sandra and her team at Ocean Worldwide identify the money rooms. I think we all know where we're going first.
The kitchen and the bathroom. Always. These are the rooms where the decisions are made.
It's funny, isn't it? In a holiday villa, you might think, well, the food in Phuket is incredible. I'll be eating out. Who cares about the kitchen?
But it still anchors the property. Even if you're just slicing up fresh mangoes, the quality of the kitchen signals the quality of the entire house. But here is the critical insight from the source. Renovation does not always mean demolition.
That's the fear, isn't it? You think renovation means dust, jackhammers, and 6 months of misery.
Ocean Worldwide suggests looking at the bones first. If the carcasses of the cabinets are solid, no termite damage, no water rot, you don't need to rip them out.
So you focus on the skin.
Exactly. A professional spray finish on dated wooden cabinets can make them look brand new. But the advice goes deeper. It's about the horizontal surfaces. Swapping out old laminate countertops for quartz or a solid surface.
That feels like a massive upgrade for the eyes. Going from a scratched plastic surface to cool, solid stone, it just elevates the class of the whole room immediately.
It does. But here is where it gets really interesting for me. The source calls cabinet handles the jewelry of the room.
I love that analogy, the jewelry of the room.
It's perfect because it's a small detail, but it catches the eye. Think about it. It's the tactile point. It's the thing you touch. If you have flimsy plastic knobs, you're telling the buyer subconscious that the house is cheap.
But swap those out, literally a screwdriver job, and the vibe shifts. The source actually breaks down the language of handles, which I found fascinating.
It connects to buyer psychology. If you use brushed nickel, you're signaling something clean, understated.
Timeless.
Yes. If you go matte black, which is everywhere right now, you're signaling sleek, contemporary.
And for that touch of high-end luxury.
Brass or gold tones, it adds warmth. Or even ceramic for that sort of vintage colonial feel that works so well in the tropics. The point is, for a few $100s, you can completely reset the tone.
Now, looking past the aesthetics, we have to talk about function. The source highlights appliance strategy.
And at a place like Phuket, energy efficiency is becoming a major selling point. But it's also about safety. They specifically mention induction hobs.
Why induction specifically, aside from it looking cool?
Speed and safety. In a rental property, an open gas flame can be a liability. Induction is safer, it's faster, and crucial for the tropics. It produces less ambient heat. You don't want the kitchen to become a sauna while you're cooking.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
And using built-in ovens instead of freestanding ones.
It just removes visual clutter. It makes the kitchen look integrated, custom, not like appliances just pushed into a gap.
Okay, let's move from the heart of the home to the sanctuary. The bathroom. The source is pretty blunt here. A dated bathroom is a deal breaker.
It's the ick factor. In a rental market especially, the bathroom signals cleanliness. If the taps are grimy or the style is 20 years old, a potential tenant wonders what else has been neglected.
So what's the fix? Because retiling a whole bathroom is a nightmare.
Again, Sandra's team advises high-impact, low-cost interventions. Swap the fixtures, get rid of the peeling chrome, put in that matte black or brushed nickel we talked about. Create consistency.
And mirrors. They mention mirrors specifically.
A large, well-placed mirror is magic. It creates a sense of space in what is often the smallest room. It doubles the light. And speaking of light, adding task lighting around the vanity makes the room feel functional and high-end.
Instead of just one sad bulb on the ceiling.
Exactly. You want it to feel like a spa, not a public locker room.
Now, there was one tip here that sounds tedious, but I get why it matters. Regrouting.
It's the secret weapon. Dirty, yellowed grout makes expensive tiles look cheap. If you rake that out and put in fresh, clean grout, you can make a 20-year-old bathroom look like it was tiled last week.
It's about maintenance signaling. It tells the buyer, this home is cared for.
Precisely.
So we've got the money room sorted. Now let's talk about the shell, the structural aesthetic. Floors, walls, and light.
This is the canvas. And if the canvas is bad, the art doesn't matter. Starting with flooring, the advice from Ocean Worldwide is very grounded. Assess the damage first, repair over replace.
I love this because ripping up floors is expensive and incredibly messy.
If you have solid wood or quality laminate that just has some scratches, sand it, varnish it, fix it. But if you do have to replace sections, there is one golden rule: consistency.
Don't turn the villa into a patchwork quilt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't want tile here, slate there, and wood in the living room. Especially in open-plan tropical villas, you want the eye to travel seamlessly. Chopping up the floor plan makes the house feel smaller.
Now let's talk about my favorite renovation tool, paint.
The cheapest way to change everything.
But in the tropics, color theory works a bit differently. It's about managing the light, right? The sun in Phuket is so intense.
It is. Ocean Worldwide suggests off-whites and soft grays.
Why not just pure, brilliant white?
Glare. Pure white in tropical sun can be blinding. Off-white absorbs just enough light to be comfortable while still making the space feel open and airy. Deeper tones are great, but, keep them for accent walls.
And the finish? This is always a debate, matte versus gloss.
It's a trade-off. Matte hides imperfections in the wall, which is great, but it's hard to clean. Satin or eggshell has a bit of a sheen and is more durable.
Gloss.
Gloss is tough as nails, but shows every single bump. But the most critical point the source makes here isn't about the finish. It's about the chemistry, mold resistance.
Right. The humidity. You can't just use any paint bucket off the shelf.
You need paint formulated for the tropics. If you don't, you will have black spots appearing within 6 months. It's just unavoidable.
They also mention textured finishes like lime wash or Venetian plaster.
I love this trend. It fits the luxury resort vibe perfectly. It adds depth and texture, stopping the walls from looking like a flat plastic box. It feels organic.
Let's shed some light on. Well, lighting. I feel like this is where so many places get it wrong.
The interrogation room effect. You absolutely have to kill the single center bulb. The source advises layering: ambient for general light, task for reading or cooking, and accent to highlight art or details.
And the tech aspect, LEDs for saving energy, but also dimmers.
Dimmers are non-negotiable in a luxury property. They allow you to change the room from a workspace to a romantic dinner setting in seconds. It puts control in the hands of the resident.
So what does this all mean for living in the tropics? Because renovating in Phuket isn't the same as renovating in London. The climate is a major character in this story.
It is. And that leads us to climate-specific living. It starts with window treatments. You want the view, but you have to respect the heat.
The source lists some great options. Sheer curtains, I love those because they give you that breezy, airy feel but diffuse the harsh glare.
They filtered the light. But for bedrooms, you need functionality. Roller blinds with blackout options are essential. If you're renting to tourists, they are on vacation. They might want to sleep until noon.
If the sun blasts them at 6 a.m., they aren't leaving a 5-star review.
Exactly. And plantation shutters are another great option mentioned. They offer insulation and look incredibly classy.
But beyond just blocking the sun, there is the concept of Smart climate control. The source frames smart home features as future-proofing.
This is where you move from a nice house to a modern luxury villa. Think about app-controlled air conditioning.
I love this. You're at the beach, it's 35 degrees, you're hot and sticky. You grab your phone, turn on the AC. By the time you get home, it's an icebox.
That is the definition of modern luxury. It's a friction remover. And digital door locks.
No more losing keys in the sand.
Keyless entry. It's secure, it's convenient, and for a landlord managing rentals, it's a lifesaver. You just change the code for the next guest.
Now, here's a trend that Ocean Worldwide highlighted that I think is only getting bigger. The work-from-home space.
The workcation. Demographics are shifting.
Yeah.
We have digital nomads, executives. They come to Phuket for a month.
Yeah.
They aren't just lounging, they're running businesses.
So you can't just put a laptop on the dining table and call it a day.
No. To attract that high-value tenant, you need a dedicated corner.
Mm-hmm.
Ergonomic furniture, good natural light, and accessible power points.
And Wi-Fi boosters.
Absolutely. The internet is a utility as vital as water now. If the Zoom call drops, you lose the client.
Okay, let's step outside. The tropical lifestyle. Because if you're in Phuket, you're there for the outdoor living.
This is where the line between indoors and outdoors blurs. It's all one living space.
But furniture out there takes a beating, right?
It does. Sun, rain, salt air, you need durable materials. But also, think about storage.
Storage seems to be a recurring theme.
Because villas often lack it. Multifunctional furniture like ottomans with storage or sofa beds are crucial. You need places to hide the clutter. A clutter-free villa just feels bigger and more expensive.
Let's talk about the balcony. The source calls it the first impression factor.
A balcony can be a forgotten space, or it can be a usable outdoor room.
I like that, a usable outdoor room, so a bistro set.
A bistro set for breakfast. Cleaning and sealing the tiles so they look fresh, and privacy screens or trellises if you have neighbors close by.
And plants. You can't be in the tropics without plants.
Hardy tropical plants. You want the lush jungle look, but you don't want delicate flowers that die if they're not watered for 2 days. Low maintenance, high impact.
And speaking of first impressions, the exterior facade. Curb appeal.
It applies to villas just as much as suburban houses. Fresh paint in neutral tones to reflect the heat, but also clean the roof.
Clean the roof.
In the tropics, algae and moss grow fast. If a buyer pulls up and sees a green fuzzy roof, they immediately assume damp and leaks.
It sets off alarm bells.
Exactly. Cleaning the gutters and the roof signals that the property is sound.
And the final polished decor. How do we style this without making it look like a souvenir shop?
Restraint. The source suggests curated local Thai art to anchor the property. Indoor plants like palms or orchids. Textiles, cushions, rugs. These are relatively cheap updates that inject personality without clutter.
Okay, we've talked about the fun stuff, the handles, the smart lights. Now we have to talk about the reality check. The logistics, the money.
The financials. Ocean Worldwide provides some very useful benchmarks here to keep us grounded.
Yeah, let's break down those numbers. What does this actually cost?
For basic updates painting, refreshing grout, and new handles, they estimate around 20,000 to 50,000 Thai baht per square meter.
Okay. And if I want to go full luxury, quartz counters, smart home integration, the works.
For a high-end finish, you're looking at up to 150,000 Thai baht per square meter.
That is a significant range, but it gives investors a realistic bracket to work within.
And the most important advice they give regarding budget is the contingency fund.
Oops.
Yes. Set aside 5 to 10% for unexpected issues. In renovation, specifically in humid climates, something always comes up. You open a wall, you find a pipe that shouldn't be there.
Or wiring that needs upgrading.
Exactly. And speaking of wiring permissions,
Oh, right. You can't just start knocking things down.
you need to clarify the regulations. Major structural, electrical, or plumbing work requires official permits in Thailand.
This feels like a trap for foreign investors. They might think, oh, it's my villa. I can do what I want.
And that is how you turn a valuable asset into a legal liability. Sandra O'Neill's team emphasizes this. Ensure you are compliant. Do not DIY the legal stuff.
That is such a crucial point. So let's wrap this up. We've covered a lot of ground.
If we summarize the philosophy, it's about 3 pillars. First, focus on the high-impact areas like the kitchen and bath. That is where the value is created. Second, respect the climate. Fight the sun and humidity with your materials and lighting choices.
And the third?
Modernize for the user. That means smart home tech and work-from-home spaces. It's about making it work for how people live today.
Which brings us to a really interesting question to leave our listeners with.
It's a question of identity and profit. When you renovate, particularly in an investment market like Phuket, Who are you renovating for?
Are you renovating for your taste?
Exactly. Are you picking that purple accent wall because you love purple? Or are you curating a lifestyle experience for a potential buyer who might hate purple?
That detachment is hard.
It is. But the line between a personal passion project and a profitable investment lies in that detachment. You have to view the property as a product.
Curating a lifestyle experience. I love that phrasing.
It really does. You aren't just fixing a house. You are packaging a dream.
Well, look, we wouldn't have any of these insights without the incredible team at Ocean Worldwide.
No, indeed. Their experience is the backbone of this whole discussion.
Again, that's Sandra O'Neill and her team. They have been on the ground in Phuket since 2004. That's over 20 years of experience helping thousands of investors navigate exactly these kinds of decisions.
If you are serious about property in Phuket, you need that kind of local long-term expertise.
Absolutely. So if you want more insights, or maybe you have a property you're ready to list, or you want to renovate and then list, you need to go to oceanwwp.com.
That's oceanwwp.com.
Check them out. They're the experts for a reason. Thank you for diving deep with us today.
It's been a pleasure.
Go pick out some nice matte black cabinet handles, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.